Another Virginia-class milestone. I'm Brian Moore, and this is Focus NNS. We're here in the Supplemental Modular Outfitting Facility at Newport News Shipbuilding, where a small ceremony sparks a big milestone for the Virginia-class submarine, Massachusetts. We'll take you to the ceremony. Plus, shipbuilders gear up for the arrival of USS John Stennis, CVN 74. We'll tell you about the upcoming overhaul. And collaboration with our yard to the south. We'll show you how we're working together in the age of COVID. Those stories and more are coming up, plus a look back at the accomplishments of 2020. But first on deck, the initials are welded and the keel is authenticated for Massachusetts, SSN 798. Aaron Pritchett with our communications division has the story.
It's a tradition that ceremonially marks the beginning of construction for a ship or boat. But even in the midst of a pandemic where only essential personnel are in attendance, paying close attention to safety, CDC guidelines, and social distancing protocols, the show must go on. As Newport News Shipbuilding recently laid the keel for the newest Virginia-class submarine, Massachusetts, SSN 798, giving the greatest shipbuilders in the world another opportunity to do what they do best, in proudly delivering freedom.
Intriguing. It's a surprise every day, because every day I learn something new about a different part of the boat. The fact that we're building submarines to help the world.
It can be overwhelming, you know, to kind of just think about everything we do, and it's kind of an honor just to be a part of delivering, you know, the components that we can to build the submarine and deliver it to the Navy.
Tucked away in the massive Virginia-class Supplemental Modular Outfitting Facility, Massachusetts SSN 798, the 25th Virginia-class submarine and the 12th built by Newport News Shipbuilding, is officially coming to life.
Today's ceremony is a nod to the past and a promise for a safe and secure future, because we know that we are building her not only to protect our freedoms that we all enjoy, but we are building her to shield our sailors who put themselves in harm's way.
Our mission is clear: deliver the most advanced, most capable warship to the Navy and our nation, with an equally advanced and capable crew to bring her to life. The crew of Massachusetts stands ready.
Although the pandemic prevented shipbuilders and crew from attending, the significance of this important tradition continues on. As Chief Operating Officer of Facebook, Sheryl Sandberg, who was selected by former Secretary of the Navy Ray Mabus in November of 2015 as the ship's sponsor, reflected via video on this tremendous honor, the lifelong bond with the boat and future crew, and more importantly, the work of our shipbuilders.
You carry on a legacy that is critical to ensuring our nation's security and prosperity. I know that you have poured many hours into this boat, and you will continue to invest in this project over the next year and beyond.
It's truly an honor because, you know, not everybody gets this opportunity in order to do this.
The Navy is dependent on us to deliver to them. You definitely have to be committed. I look at the scope of work that we do, what's involved with it is very dynamic, so we have to deliver quality first time. I have a 3-year-old son. He could be serving on one of these submarines one day if he chooses to be in the Navy.
Because it's people's lives in your hands that you're making these boats for, to take care of us.
This journey starts now as I authenticate the keel by signing my initials on this plate.
And from the stroke of a pen all the way from California to the spark of a welding torch in Virginia, Newport News master shipbuilder Ronnie Payne let his 44 years of talents and experience shine by proudly welding Sheryl Sandberg's initials into the steel plate.
It's an honor. It's an honor somebody take pride in. Anybody can't weld. It's an art. It's an art. It's a challenge.
And in doing so makes his role not only with this event, but what he does each and every day take on a renewed meaning as he works alongside so many talented men and women who are focused on delivering one of the most technologically advanced submarines in the world.
It's amazing. It is amazing, overwhelming. But you have to experience it for yourself in order to understand it. This is the 25th Virginia-class submarine I have worked on since I've been here. It's like a puzzle. We're all putting together. Everybody do their part, putting it together. People's lives depend on it and stuff. So when you take pride in something, you're going to do the best you can and all you can.
I hereby declare the keel of this United States Navy submarine, Massachusetts, truly and fairly laid.
A very special ceremony that never gets old, and one that just reiterates now more than ever the monumental and important mission-critical work that our shipbuilders are doing here each and every day all across this shipyard, whether it be from a submarine or aircraft carrier's humble beginnings to delivery to even overhaul. They are truly dedicated to always building good ships. For Focus NNS, I'm Aaron Pritchett. Back to you, Brian.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much for that. A great day for the Virginia-class submarine program. Meantime, leaders from the great state of Massachusetts set their well wishes to celebrate the keel occasion. Governor Charles Baker and Boston Mayor Martin Walsh are proud to see a VCS submarine with the Massachusetts name and look forward to the future as the ship comes to life.
I want to start by saying how much I appreciate all the work done by so many to get us to this point, the laying of the keel on the submarine Massachusetts.
We are thrilled that you have reached this momentous occasion and that we can join you in this virtual setting to say congratulations.
All right, we appreciate those words from the governor and the mayor. Now, let's take a look at some other news from around the yard. From SSN 798 to CVN 80, the excitement continues as shipbuilders are hard at work on the next carrier known as Enterprise. Although the keel won't be officially laid for a couple of years, plenty of work is underway throughout the yard to prepare for the next ship of the Ford class. With the help of the 1050 metric ton Goliath gantry crane, or Big Blue, a component was lifted and flipped. It's one of 4 components that will make up the first superlift of Enterprise. The 118 metric ton unit will be part of a 985 metric ton superlift that will become a vital part of Enterprise. We'll look forward to seeing that superlift in the future. All right, great work there, shipbuilders. So as the engineering and design workload continues to increase at Newport News Shipbuilding, so does the demand for experienced shipbuilders. So Newport News Shipbuilding is collaborating with an obvious partner to tap into the resources to keep work moving while learning best practices and processes for better efficiency. Kelly Tatum with our Communications Division joins us now to show us how teamwork is getting the job done.
It's a partnership that's been in the making for almost a decade. Newport News Shipbuilding and Ingalls Shipbuilding have joined forces to meet the demanding workload shipbuilders face.
Newport News Shipbuilding has pushed through many obstacles to create a virtual team consisting of engineers and designers working together with sister company Ingalls Shipbuilding. An engineering and design first of its kind for both yards, this business model is setting a precedent on how Huntington Ingalls Industries is transforming business operations for the better. Newport News design manager Jason Boyce is leading his team made up of both NNS and Ingalls shipbuilders. While Boyce resides in Newport News with part of his team, the other members are located in Pascagoula, Mississippi at Ingalls Shipbuilding.
It's been a tremendous asset for our leads and those folks down there to communicate and understand. We do have some differences. Some of our verbiage is different. They use different terms than we would, but it's all the same principle. It's still shipbuilding, and the idea of our folks learning from them and them learning from us is just, I think, just something we should have done a long time ago when we became Huntington Ingalls Industries.
The initial thought was to get the virtual office up and running with several trips back and forth between the 2 yards, but COVID-19 stopped any chances of a handhold.
The COVID pandemic, if there's a silver lining in anything, it kind of helped set up the infrastructure and prove that that would work. But we're basically doing the same thing as people working from home.
Dozens of Ingalls shipbuilders have been brought onto the effort so far, with plans of continued growth in the future. For Focus NNS, I'm Kelly Tatum. Back to you, Brian.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much for that story. It's great to see the collaboration across both shipyards. Well, it's never easy to say goodbye, but Newport News Shipbuilding did just that to the familiar green crane that has been a fixture in the skyline for more than 50 years. It was once the largest gantry-type crane in the nation when it was erected in 1969. The 310 long-ton Goliath gantry crane simply reached the end of its life. Although planning has been in the works for more than 7 years, it was an extraordinary effort over a 7-month period. The final beam of the crane was split in half and floated up the James River to a recycling facility near Hopewell, Virginia. Meantime, the new blue 315 metric ton Goliath gantry crane, already in service, will begin its first big test with the arrival of Stennis for its complex refueling and overhaul in early 2021. And speaking of the Stennis, shipbuilders are getting ready for its complex refueling and overhaul. There's a lot of work ahead and the ship is still in the Navy's hands, but Lena Wallace with our communications division takes a look at all the prep work that's going on.
I'm here on the flight deck of USS John C Stennis here at Naval Station Norfolk, where the Smart Start team is working on the ship. That's hundreds of trades working hard to get this ship ready to go to Newport News Shipbuilding.
Smart Start.
It's just like the name is, just to get a head start on the jobs before we take it over there to Newport News.
Think of it as renovating a house.
Early rip out, just ripping out stuff.
A steel house for thousands of Navy personnel.
What we do here, people may take it for granted every day that we come to work. Each day we strengthen what we can do for these young men and women in the Navy, and what they do out there is amazing, but we have to be amazing here so that they don't have any issues out there.
We're working catapults, arresting gears, JBDs, combat systems.
Electrical systems, ventilation systems, water systems.
The list continues, but not without some challenges. USS John C Stennis lacks a floating accommodation facility for ship's force.
Unlike previous carriers, we've had the FAF, but with having 73 still in the yard, they're still using it, so we had to accommodate the Navy.
As a solution, shipbuilders added temporary medical and aviation facilities on the flight deck.
It was a group effort by everybody. 36 with the rigging. There's like 6 trailers we had to bring up, set down on the foundation that had to be welded down. They did an awesome job.
All this work amid the unrelenting COVID-19 pandemic.
Sometimes adversity hits you, and what are you going to do? So the ones that remained COVID-free, they stepped up and they did the work that was necessary to get the job completed.
Working through the challenges, the mission remains the same.
Every day we're building our strength of our country every day. So, and you know, we got to take care of our sailors. So. We got to build good warships.
Next up for the USS John C Stennis, going to Newport News Shipbuilding. That's where the RCOH, or refueling and complex overhaul, will take place. For Focus NNS, I'm Lena Wallace. Back to you, Brian.
All right, Lena, thank you so much for that. We'll look forward to the Stennis' arrival next year. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Focus NNS, but before we leave you, we want to take a look back at the year that was 2020. Through this pandemic, we've accomplished a heck of a lot at Newport News Shipbuilding, and we all should be proud. So, have a great holiday season. We'll see you next year.
We built out this whole complex from basically scratch.
It's about keeping ourselves safe, our friends safe, our family safe. We're making sure we can support our local hospitals, but we're making sure we also have enough in stock.
I feel like we're delivering freedom, and we're giving the sailors the opportunity to perform and to be the best at what they can do.
The work that you do directly affects the safety of others. I mean, I don't know how much bigger picture you can paint than that.
It's been a pretty amazing job that it has done. Very important to this company for that crane over the years.
It's a beautiful thing when you get on that boat in the end. It is beautiful.
It's a great honor to be a part of building the next CVN-80, the Enterprise. We're committed to creating the best quality product that we can.
Great work with the finest shipbuilders in the world.